Hello, everybody. I hope everyone's having an awesome Labor Day weekend so far. I have a cousin that's not having such a good Labor Day weekend. I'll just give him a shout out. He is an ARCA race car driver, and he drove a long way to get down here to race this weekend, figuring he'd race one of the last races of the season. He would get in his hauler and go back with his crew, but the race was postponed till tomorrow, so he's having to deal with rain delay and getting his car through inspection, and then they impound them after they inspect them. And they can't touch them until the race tomorrow, so it's a busy day for him. Shout out to him. Okay, so this channel's not about racing, but I'm so proud of my cousin, so I just want to say. Okay, so I've been struggling with a subject, and I just wanted to address it because I think it's interesting that I bring it out. And I would like to address and talk about the honest opinion that I have of Goldendoodles. I've had Roxy for over 3.5 years, and now I've got the 2 girl puppies. And all, motherly love that hides their flaws and all that aside, I'm going to tell you the truth about why I would or why I would not get a Golden Doodle if I would not. And just watch the girls. That I've been sitting and filming them like I always do. Today and last night, just filming them a little bit. Bougie's feeling so much better. She's played today. She's been kind of eating, like a normal amount for if your stomach's been upset. And she's been chewing on a bone all day, a good beef roast bone that we gave her, and, been playing a little bit. So she's a lot better, and thank you to everybody again that checked on her. So I wanted to start out with why I would, for sure, get a Golden Doodle still, or 3. So I have a few commenters that put up here on my comment section how they hate Golden Doodles. Well, I don't understand why they're even here if they hate Golden Doodles, but I think a little bit of it is that they just are bored and they are lonely, and they, a lot of times, hurting people hurt people. So they want to hurt and dig and cut as much as they can, and it's doing them absolutely no good because we love what we love. Us doodle lovers love what we love. And if you try to get a little bit too abrasive with your opinions and your comments, then you're just going bye-bye. That's it. Now, I'm going to keep on smiling and keep on loving my doodles. So there you go. So why would I get a doodle? I started out getting a Golden Doodle, like I've said in my previous videos, how that my friend at church her dog had died or something, and she told me, she said, "Have you ever seen a Golden Doodle?" I said, "Never heard of them." Now this is a long time before I got Roxy, a long time. I had my English bulldogs, and I had 3, so I had plenty of dogs. And she was telling me how awesome they are and all that. And I thought, well, that's good, but I don't need another dog, and I'll just keep that in mind. I said, well, I'd have to wait until, I didn't have dogs to get another one because it's just too much. And the rest is history. When it came the time, I got Roxy, and I never looked back. So a Golden Doodle, I need a dog that wants to love and be loved on, and they are all 3 like that. But I'm so loving on Roxy that I think she'd like to get another pet mom sometimes, because she loves in shifts, and then she wants to be left alone. So, I've got 3, and they're all 3 got a little bit different personalities. So there's enough of them to go around of whatever mood they're in, whatever mood I'm in. So Golden Doodles are very loving and very attentive to you, and they pay attention to everything you do. They make eye contact with you, at least mine do, constantly looking for direction and guidance from me. And So that is one thing I super love about my doodles. They will turn heads when you go out in public. So I love that I meet new people. Not trying to get any kind of attention. I'm definitely, if anyone knows me at all, knows I'm not an attention getter. I'm kind of like a loner a lot of times. Now, if I choose to be around people, I love it, but I don't have to be around people. So, if you take the doodles out in public anywhere, you can get ready. There's going to be selfies. There's going to be, can I pet your dog? I do it to other people that have doodles when I see them out in the stores because I just love them. And another reason I would have a golden doodle over and over again is they don't get dog hair all over me. At least mine don't. And even when I have let them go for a couple days and not brushed them because I've been sick or been working one of my 4 jobs and, whatever, they'll just mat. Mine will. If you don't brush them, they'll get mats. But I think mine's only had mats once or twice, and that was behind their ears. That was due to sickness on my part. And then we just cut them out. They wasn't bad anyway, but, just a little bit old quarter-size mats behind each ear. So the shedding factor and the snuggly factor, I love. I would also get a golden doodle because of how friendly they are to your company and your guests. We've had dogs in the past that just, they were all friendly, but they were just like pushy and push themselves on people, and they shed hair. And it was a little embarrassing for me because the people felt like they ought to pet the dogs. I'm sure I do that when I go to someone's house. And I didn't want them to feel like that because I knew they'd get dog hair all over their clothes, and they did. Not off of my furniture, though, because I have leather furniture, so I won't have dog hair. And I have whatever you call that vinyl flooring, that click-lock luxury vinyl tile flooring. Looks like wood. Looks like wood planks, That's what I have. So, and I've got 2 Roomba vacuum cleaners at any given time running daily. So I make sure there's no dog mess, like not mess, but like where they go out and walk in mowed grass, come back in and it gets off their feet and there's just dust and things. That those Roombas keep that cleaned up. So, And anyway, why else I would get a doodle again is because they are so beautiful. I love looking at them. I love to watch them. I just get like entertained watching them run, watch their hair flowing, their tails flowing in the wind. That's the truth. I love to play fetch with them and frisbee and all the things that they like to do. I love that doodles like to play with all kinds of different toys. They love squeak toys. I love how smart they are, how quickly they pick up things. All of my dogs have been, though, but I don't know. I just love the whole package with the doodle. I can't say anything about them that I wouldn't want one all over again. And, if they do try to lay on the furniture, which they rarely try. We don't let them on the furniture. Roxy's allowed in my chair, and the other 2 are allowed in my chair with me. But they don't really like to get up there because it's Roxy's spot, and they know it, and they just kind of put their feet up there, and that's it. But, there's that. I like the fact that they learn. They don't get on the furniture. They don't try to keep on pushing. They don't chew up my stuff because I give them stuff to chew on that they can have if I see them thinking about chewing on something. And the older they get, the more they don't even think about it. I know when Paris was a very small puppy, I'd see her licking that furniture, and that leather furniture in there is real leather. And it's very old, but we paid a lot for it, and it's paid off to have, but I didn't want dog teeth prints in it. And anyway, if she started licking it, I'd get up and say, nope, no, and I'd get a bone or whatever and give it to her. Now, since Bougie got sick, I've decided not to let them chew on sticks anymore because it could have been a possibility she got some wood in her belly from the sticks, and so we're not allowing that anymore. But there's not anything about my 3 doodles, Roxy, Paris, and Bougie, that I can say is bad, except for the litter mate thing. That's the bad part. I would never, ever, ever again get litter mates. I wouldn't even get 2 puppies. that are the same age, because they wrestled when we first got them. They never looked at us. They wrestled all the time. And if we tried to separate them and put one in one room and one in the other with one of us, just for us to have one and one on time, they would just bark and cry for each other. They just would not be separated. But now I had a few commenters to say to me on the chats that they had puppies that were the same age at the same time they got them. And they weren't litter mates, but they actually were the same way, and that they grew out of it. And that gave me hope. So now I can say that in this past month, that wrestling factor is probably 95% resolved. They still wrestle, but they don't do it to the point that they did. They just never did anything else but wrestle. And it's because they were litter mates, same age, and that's just a thing, because I've studied on it, and it's a thing. So I would never do that again, and I would tell you, I'm not a vet and I'm not an expert, and I say that on every one of my videos just to remind you that I'm just letting you watch the puppies grow up. These videos are to entertain people, to have something to watch the dogs grow and watch how their testing goes and how they act and how they look, to see if they get to have puppies someday. If they, someone might want one. I mean, it's fine, but that's what my channel is about. But I would never, ever, ever again get litter mates or even get two puppies the same age. I don't think I've ever done that and had dogs in the house. Now, I've gotten puppies when I was still living at home, and they stayed outside, and I maybe never noticed that they did that. I don't know. Maybe they did it and I didn't notice it. But listen, litter mate syndrome is a real thing. And I don't recommend getting the puppies together unless you've got a lot of time to devote to separating them and working with them. And I did not. I have a lot of time that I can pick and choose to do different things and separate things with them. But that was really a challenge. And also, I broke my leg the day we brought them home. And for 3.5 months, maybe 4, I couldn't do anything. I had to have surgery. I broke 3 bones. It was a bad break. And they had to wait 3 months for pet mom to be able to be a good pet mom to them. But they did great. They came out of all that and all their challenges, and their house broken great, and it just worked out. But maybe that partly had to do with it too. Maybe they relied on each other more than they would have me. But I have looked up litter mate syndrome, and it's a real thing. And on that aspect, that's the only thing, honestly, that I can say that I would not do. The rest of it, I do not. We don't have separation issues. We don't have jealousy amongst them issues. Roxy accepted them. Roxy's a better dog because of them. She's not the only one. We didn't love her to death anymore because she had some puppies she could play with. People say they're high strung and they've got all these issues. I've not had that one bit. And I'm sure dogs, they're individual, their personalities are like people. There are some dogs that I believe are mentally retarded. There are. But, just like people. Some dogs have, bipolar syndrome maybe or whatever. But on my dogs, I cannot find one bad thing that would make me not get them again. All 3 of them at the same time. And I always have dogs in 3s for some reason. I don't know why that is, but it always happens. If I buy one, I adopt 2. If I adopt one, I'll get another one, and then they'll have a puppy because I want a puppy. That was with Ton and Tank in Alaska. That was just one time that happened. And I on purpose bred them so I could have a puppy. And I got one. I had them all 3. So I'm just trying to think if there's any little thing that I could think of that would make me not like a doodle as a pet. A golden doodle. I can't speak for every type of doodle. But I had an awesome golden doodle breeder. She was super attentive. She raised those up with her foster kids and her kids. They were handled. That's where Roxy came from. And they were perfect. She came here almost completely housebroken. All I had to do was make sure the door got open, and no dog can open their own door unless they have a doggy door. But, I know different people have different lives. Some dogs have different temperaments. I actually witnessed one at the groomer last time the girls went, and that dog was constantly pacing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I saw that girl that was grooming that dog let it outside many times into the run to scrub off some of its energy. And that dog would be recrated, and it was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, never stopping. And it looked like a big Bernedoodle or something, like it was a big dog, and it was super matted because she had to shave it down all over its tail, head, and everything. And I remember feeling sorry for the groomer and for the dog. But that was the only dog that I saw doing that. And I remember thinking, somebody that got that dog has not worked with it, and they're just putting it somewhere while they work or whatever, and it's just so ramped up and super stressed out from not being exercised and not getting attention. So, but that's not been the case with any of my doodles. So I just want to clarify that. There's nothing else that my dogs do that in the least bothers me. They get in their crates on their own. They don't chew my stuff up. They get in the car on their own. They finally jump up there unless they see Pet Dad, and then they make him put them in there. They're just lazy when it comes to him, but they walk on the leashes, and they're still 9 months old, so they've got to learn to stay right beside us on the leashes. But for the most part, they do. Roxy's worse than they are about that, wanting to pull on the leash. When she goes to the vet office, she tries to run in the vet's office and tries to hurry up and get in there. And then when she finds out what she's going to have to do, she wants to hurry up and get out. But no, I can't say anything about my dogs that makes me regret getting them in the least. They ride in the car great. Bougie does get car sick still. Paris has grown out of it, but Bougie cannot help being car sick. People get car sick. I have a sister-in-law that gets car sick. Always has. So that's all I can say. There's a few loose ends due to training, like when somebody knocks on the door, them going wild and running to the door and barking so loud, and I have to calm them down to even hear what the person wants that's at the door. But that's also training and puppyhood right there. Nothing in this world would make me hate a doodle. And in closing, or make me regret a doodle, in closing, I'd just like to say very kindly and very seriously and in a nice and loving way, if you hate doodles, if you super hate doodles and you hate them enough that you have to put a message in the comment section about it, I mean, honestly, why are you here? There's doodle hate channels, I'm sure. So you guys can go over there and gripe at each other. But I'm just going to tell you, I'm not going to allow any more hate comments about doodles, because all that does is cause people to want to mistreat a dog that does not. You can't hate a dog for being what a dog is. It was born that way. That's like hating people for what color they are. I'm just not going to put up with it anymore. This channel is for me to let people see my puppies as they grow up, get health tested, as they grow up and behave in front of the camera in the way they behave. People can watch them, enjoy them if they can't have a dog of their own, or if they may want one of these puppies, or if they want a doodle puppy. So there's many, many people that sell them apparently. And but if my dog's health testing, once they've had all their pin hip and their OFA testing and all that, if it does not pan out like I want it, they will be spayed. I'm not doing this to get rich or get money. I'm probably going to have like over $10,000 invested in these puppies by the end of the year. I've already got over $5,500, way over, invested in them. People want to get on here and comment about, how people just breed these dogs just to make money, and these dogs are too expensive. My dogs are going to be expensive because of the money that I have spent and invested into them to make sure they're healthy and good pets. I got online last night looking again for a perfect stud poodle for my girls if I should breed them. And I saw the most pitiful puppies that were supposed to be Golden Doodle puppies, and they were like $250 and $300. Some of them was $125, and they were so sick looking and sad looking. And then one poodle, you could tell that dog had never seen the inside of a house or a hairbrush, and hair was full of grass and weeds. And it had the most sad eyes. I mean, and they were wanting to use this dog for stud service, or did you want to take it off their hands for $300? And if it hadn't have been for the fact that I need a health-tested male, I'd have probably got that one. But I can't have that many dogs in my house because I'm going to have puppies in here and all kinds of things, and I've just got to be realistic about it. But it made me stop looking. I can't stand the heartbreak of watching these poor dogs. And it makes me know that some of the people that say, I hate doodles, I hate breeders, I hate this, I hate that. I get it, but it's not just golden doodles that's happening to people. It's every dog. There are people out there that are heartless, and they just want to make whatever money. I actually know of people, and yes, yes, it's been made known. They live probably 500 or 600 miles from me, that actually just raise dogs just to fight them. And they're not just pit bulls. But somebody just happened to mention it in front of me and didn't know how I am about dogs because they didn't know me. But this is what's going on. So don't just blame it on doodles or golden doodles or breeders of decent, kind, friendly dogs. Decent, kind, friendly breeders. Okay, I'm on my soapbox. I realize that. I tend to do that. Oh, I'm so sorry. But I tell you, it's ignorance when you post things like that about breeders that are reputable. And when you say, well, this breeder's been in business 35 years and they've got better puppies. Everybody has to start somewhere. This is my first time to professionally attempt breeding golden doodles. I've had dogs that had puppies on purpose for me before that I kept. And you know why? Because nobody that wanted a puppy was suitable to me. I didn't want to let just anybody have them because I knew their track record. And it's just because I didn't have but one or two puppies to deal with. One of them was my mom's dog, small litter, accidental breeding. It was a Chihuahua, but that's just the way I am. And if you want to, say something about me because I'm this way, you don't know me. You don't know what I do. You don't know what my standards are. You don't know what a lot of people's standards are. But I am absolutely not going to let somebody take a puppy out of here that I think they're going to throw it outside and leave it outside, or not work with it, or let it stay locked up in a cage all day, every day of its life until it goes crazy. I'm not going to do that. And, that's just how it is. I'll have a whole yard full of golden doodles if that's all I got that wants a puppy. People will not get my doodle puppies that are not going to take care of them, period. And if they find out that they can't, they can bring them back to me and I will find them a home rather than them put them in a shelter for free and let the shelter just do whatever they do with them. That's what I'm going to do. I'll let people bring the dog back to me. I'm not going to buy it back from them, but if they had to drop it off of at a shelter, that's what they would have to do. And they will be more than welcome to bring them back to me. But before they leave here, I'm going to work with them and train them the very best that I can to make it easier on the dog and the person getting the dog. The lady that does my hair told me one time, she said, I feel like I could have a dog if somebody could housebreak it because I just don't know how to do that. And that just rung a bell with me. And I thought, that's what we need to do. So, to recap, this video is almost over, but I am not going to list anything else about doodles that I would not have a doodle except for the fact of the littermate syndrome. That is really and truly, that about kicked my booty, but it's better. We're 95% or 98% over that now. So you have a blessed day, and please feel free to comment kindly, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You don't have to agree with everything we say, but just don't get on there hating doodles, because if you do, I'm not going to let your comment, because we want this to be a happy place and a safe place for everyone to participate.